Not yet. Bear with me, people. It takes a few seconds to get over here. There we go. Right. Nice thumbnail, mister. Who have we got? Jim K. Good AM, Andy. Good morning, Jim. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. Hello, everybody. Well, good morning, Mike, and welcome back to the workshop, as of course, for Jim K. Vijayant Governor. Hello, Andy and crew from South Africa. Good morning, Vijayant. Simon, can you be 10 minutes late? Just watching the end of Stranger Things. Well, to be perfectly honest, Simon, I think you'd be a lot better off, a lot more enthralled watching the live stream. You need to binge Stranger Things. It's, you know, it's not a particularly popular program. And, you know, I'm sure there's going to be another season. So the ending can't be that important. Anyway, where do we get to? Alan Cook. Hiya, good morning, Alan. And welcome back to the workshop. Roger Heaps, morning Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. I wonder how cold it is down in Invercargill this morning. It's pretty chilly up here, but it's not quite as cold. It doesn't feel as cold as it did a couple of weeks ago. Or was it last Sunday? I don't know. Whenever I was wearing my jacket, it was bloody freezing. Vijayant, why is Andy so late? What? It's just gone 8:30. I'm not late. 8:30 is the start, not 8 o'clock. Scott, morning Andy. Good morning, Scott. Welcome back to the workshop. Kill Switch, BB. Been a while. Hey guys. Big smiley face. There you go. Federico Espinenza. Oh, it's in Spanish. I have no idea what that says. And to be honest, because of that, I better not try and read it out because it might be bad. Alan Cook, how is Holly? Holly's fine. I actually haven't heard from her for quite a while, but I know she's okay. So hopefully, maybe in the next few weeks, we'll get her back down. Got a Bonneville to do, haven't we? Project. Right. Cigarette's gone out. Bugger. So, how has my week been? Well, it's been extremely productive and extremely tiring, but that's all part of it, you know, and you're doing stuff for yourself, and you've only got a limited period of time to get everything done. You push through. So, where did we end off last Sunday? What did we do? Sunday afternoon. I think the first 2 or 3 days we spent... Now, Sunday. Ben wasn't here on Sunday. So what did I do on Sunday? I think I must have just done some more of the 450 kits. I think. Oh, I did. I sprayed everything. Pretty much. That's right. Sunday was a spraying day. Great fun. So we got all the main plates sprayed. In fact, I'll show you. Come on, let's have a look. I'll have a wander around the workshop. Bum, 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 bum. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Right, so this is where we're at now, but a lot more has happened since. So, bear with me because I've got crap everywhere. Right, so all the plates are now sprayed up, done in the container paint. They are ready for packing. Well done, Mrs. Mechanic. She's on with that today. So they're done. So we sprayed those on the Sunday. And we sprayed... Oh, she's wrapped them all up as well. Look, fantastic. So these are the little angle pieces that go up at the end of the support kit. And the footwell, the edge of the footwell runs above here. So it provides support. And that little groove there is for a plastic web in the middle of the footwell to clear. Most of you guys know this anyway, but quick recap. So they're all sprayed up and packed into pairs because there's 2 per kit. And on this side here, these ones, just so happens to be one out because I've got an odd one for some reason. It's going to get interesting. I think there was a bit of an overrun on the cutting, actually. These bolt to the frame on these 2, that's right, and to the plate here, right? So that's the outside of the plate, and that fits basically on there, like that. And this bit fits basically on there Oh, jeez, come back. Where do you go? Live TV. Okay, now there's a 3.3 degree fold in there. You can't really make it out on there, but there is. And that kicks the plate up by 3.3 degrees, obviously, from the horizontal. That bolts to there. These holes bolt to existing bolts on the frame, and of course these holes line up with those, and they're all countersunk cap heads underneath there, holding it all in place. Yes, this could have been threaded, but this is going to be taken off plenty of times over the years, and if I threaded those M8s, chances are they'd pull through eventually, and it's a, you know, and they'd have to put a nut there anyway, so, you know, future proof. So that's all done. They were all painted. Now what wasn't painted, if I can find them, where the hell are they? Are they in here? Yes. Okay. There isn't a spare one in there, is there? So, is there a spare one in there? Yes, there is. Bear with me, people. Live TV. Hang on. Okay. So these weren't sprayed on Sunday because I was knackered. So we sprayed these, I think it was on the Monday or the Tuesday or the Wednesday, whatever it was. Anyway, they got sprayed on the next time I was spraying. Might have been the next morning. I don't think it was though, actually. I think it was probably Wednesday. Anyway, so over here, we did some more brackets. Lost a pen. Right. These are for the deck roof. So we made lots and lots and lots of these. About 100 of those. And these are for, I think they call them the purlins, the bits that the corrugated iron screws to. These hold the last timber that sits vertically. In fact, I can show you a drawing. As if like that. Boom. Okay, now this, there's quite a story behind this. This is a very simplified version of a rough idea of how we were going to do it. It is by no means a fixed thing, but the idea behind it was to work out approximately how much timber I needed, not the actual design itself, because that was still fluid. Anyway, so these angle brackets, the red lines here are, of course, what I think we call purlins. I don't know. They're the bits of wood that go across, and then the corrugated iron goes down on top and screws down to those timbers. So you need some way of mounting these to these beams that come across. These are the heavy beams that you saw in the thumbnail. And of course, they just basically screw on the downhill side of these beams. That way up, sorry. So 2 tech screws into the timber and then an M10 through the purlin, like that. Get the idea? Sort of. These ones, which you may, oh, you're going to show some pictures in a minute. These go basically either side of these heavy beams onto here, and they mount sort of like that. And there's 2, one either side. Got it? Okay. So these bolts, these bolts go into either just this timber or through this timber and through a post. And we've actually got another rail of timber behind there as well, because there's a bit of an overhang onto the roof, so we don't get any rain blowing on a blowy day. That's the plan. So we've got all those made up as well. And of course, when I painted those and those, we painted these at the same time. So the whole kit now, oh, Mrs. Mechanic's done all the nuts and bolts. They're all done, bagged up, ready, the kits. So they are now ready for assembly as kits. And that's Mrs. Mechanic's job today. I can't get involved. I'm too busy doing carporty stuff. Now, back to the car. Cigarette. Back to comments. Jeez. We'll carry on with that a bit later on because it gets interesting. It really does. Right, where are we? We're going to work. There we are. Okay. Right. Lots of talking and not a lot of comment reading. Sorry, but you know, bring you up to date. And then basically, once all that was done, I had to whiz out down the road to get a couple more bits of timber because I knew I was going to be short. We had them. We had some bolts sent down, which I'll show you as well. They turned up in the same town because I got them sent there. Because if it was sent here, it would have taken a whole week. Rural delivery isn't going to work. So I got them sent to a friend of mine in town. Picked them up from there. Came the next day. That's brilliant. Everything works perfectly. Now, where do we get to? Roger Heaps, a little nippy here, but good for this time of year. Very informative, Roger. Thank you for that. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics, 92 degrees Fahrenheit, which means nothing to me, and 33 degrees centigrade. That's pretty warm. Abasil Goped Sports. There's a plug for you. No idea who they are. Hi. Good morning, Abasil. You can write more letters. You're not limited. You could say, hi, Andy. How's it going? How's the workshop? What are you up to? You know. Mike Bazanski. I'm late to the game. Morning all. Thought the metal bits were a new kit you were building. Ah, okay. Well, that's the third batch of those ones that fit the 450cc ATV. And on the bench is everything for the 700. And everything's done except the big bits. I've still got the countersinks to do on those, and there's a lot of countersinks to do. And then Mrs. Mechanic has to sandblast them all, which will take a long time. So once they're all done, then we can tumble the small pieces, which I'm already doing at the moment, actually. There's already some already in the cement mixer being tumbled. And not that it's turned on at the moment, because you'd definitely hear it if it was. And then we can get those sprayed. And I'm hoping, I don't think I have, I'm hoping I've got enough paint. I reckon I have to buy some more paint. Bugger. But I'll buy the same again because it's actually really good. Now that we sandblast the pieces and prep them properly, the paint sticks like shit to a blanket. It's really good. Rodney Long Jr. Hi, Andy from Missouri, US of A. Good morning. Rodney, hope you're all good, matey. Simon, we got 38 centigrade in north of the UK last week. 40 centigrade in London. Lush and hot. 40. Bloody hell. It's ridiculous. Roger, what's the pie? Good segue, Roger. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Well, today's pie, which was not in the thumbnail, is from Ponsonby Pies. And it's a bacon and egg pie. Traditional English breakfast. Nice. So, should we take a look? Because then we can get the pie in the pie warmer. Here we go. To camera, Andy, to camera. I've never had one of these before. So, you're going to join me on this epic adventure. Okay, there we go. Look. Sound effects are great. So there we go. It's not particularly big. It's only 170 grams. Come on. We're back. Sorry for that. So we had technical problems, and for some reason the internet went back. So I'm just going to refresh that because I've suddenly become Mr. Pixelated Man. How's it looking at your end? Anyway, here we go. Here is the pie underneath. Very natural, no cracks or anything. That's a perfect underneath for pie. There we go. Look, I don't see any cracks on there at all, actually. And the top, golden brown. Very nice. So, what we need to do now is go over to the pie warmer. I don't want a free family plan. Skip trial. Okay. On my screen, I'm incredibly pixelated. How do I look at your end? Any good? Oh my word, we've got loads more to go. Right, okay, to the pie warmer. Turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. Dum, 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 pie warmer. Right, focus, focus, focus. Look at that for a pie. Now, it's not the standard sort of, steak and cheese that I normally go for because, to be perfectly honest, I didn't have one. But I've got this one. So, we'll stick him in there, shut the lid, and we'll give him the 23 minutes, which is the perfect, from the fridge temperature, for pie warming in this particular pie warmer, which needs a clean. It does. Right. Good luck, pie. Back to the bench. Oh, the workshop is an absolute tip at the moment. Look at this. There's stuff all over the place. It's horrendous. Right, back to the comments. I've got some catching up to do. Good picture here, somebody says. Scott. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I wasn't sure. There we go. That's about right, isn't it? That'll do. Okay, back to the comments because I'm way behind. Pat Toohill. When Mrs. Mechanic gets done sandblasting there, send her here. I've got some planter units to sandblast, but it's not a cabinet. Oh my word. There's no way she would ever use an external sandblaster. She's seen me do it on the one that's now broken and actually decommissioned. It actually ruptured on a weld on the foot underneath the tank. So that didn't last very long, did it? I only had that about 18 months. Didn't do that many jobs with it either, but there's no way I was going to fix it up. And to be perfectly honest, it wasn't that great. It was okay when it worked, but it kept wearing through the hose and wasn't that impressed. And it was a horrendous job using it. So I think, Pat, Mrs. Mechanic will decline your offer, unfortunately. Peter Swatman. Hey, Andy and crew. Good morning, Peter. Welcome back to the workshop. Kev Straw Monochrome Racing. Good name. Hi, guys. Don't normally watch live, but always watch during the week. Good man. Well, welcome to the actual real-time live stream. How does it feel, Kev? Good? Connor K. Morning, Andy and crew. The like has been activated. Good man. Temperature around Lisbon are mid to upper 20s today. That's quite sort of just pleasant, isn't it? Bit of sunshine, as long as it's not too cloudy, not too muggy. It'd be nice for that. Scott, good picture here. Thank you, Scott. I read that one earlier on. Appreciate that. So, comments are caught up, which means now we can continue with wandering around the workshop and covering stuff that's going on. Look at all the mess that Ben's made. Well, I've made as well, to be fair. Here we go. Right. So there's still a bit more on the roof to do. But if we go over here, this is the contraption that Benjamin put together one morning during the week, because I had to do some emails for work. Unfortunately, I had to catch up a little bit of work for an hour or so. So Ben opened up the workshop and he made me many boxes of many things. Now, this hangs via these two metal brackets onto the back of the pallet forks that go on Trevor the Tractor, which is brilliant, because then we can put all our tools and washers and square washers, round washers, nylocks in there. And he's done this for all the bolts. These are 24 centimeter long bolts, 240 mil, all apart from one. There was one bag that was the wrong size, but that's all right. We can use that for something else. So there you go. He made this, and well, when he presented it to me, it was all extremely tidy and very well organized. And unfortunately, I've been using it, and as you can tell, there's just stuff everywhere, but it works really, really well. And we basically use Trevor the Tractor to stand up on the pallet, up in the air, and do the work, a bit like a cherry picker. So this is absolutely ideal. Very, very happy with that. Here's some more of the bolts that Jared sent down. These are the ones that he did next day delivery to the local town. I got them picked up, so we've got plenty of bolts to go at. And all the clamps and bits and pieces. And we've got lots of Ben's tools kicking around. There's some more somewhere. Where the hell are they? I don't know. Oh, on the workbench, look. See, Ben is also a Makita fan. Good lad. Does a good job there. Right, so back to the roof. So, yeah, it became a bit of a bigger job than we sort of anticipated, because there were more angles involved. I'd made an assumption that I'd correctly, and these were the first three posts to go in the ground. And unfortunately, the distance from this post to the this line here, which is now the new post that went in, these posts are all parallel to the house, which was critical. They're 600 mil from the house. Great. However, we set these first. We must have got our tape measure a little bit wrong, because this post is about 50 centimeters closer to the house at this end than this post, which means that this rail here that runs across does not run parallel to the back rail. Now, you might think, well, that's not a problem, Andy. We can work around that. However, don't forget the roof slopes. And I didn't want a twisted roof. So therefore, because the distance here is shorter, this rail that runs across has to be higher at this end than this end, because essentially it's intersecting or mounting to the roof further up, somewhere around about this area here. So no longer could this rail be level. It had to have an incline on it. And working that out was pretty complicated. But we got there in the end. I used my digital, we basically we set one end, got it as high as we could at this end, and then put a couple of bits of timber across the roof and measured using a digital inclinometer thing, which is actually my digital spirit level over there. That one in the bag, very useful. We worked out that the roof pitch is 5.6 degrees. And now the roof is unified in its slope, is a good way of putting it. Okay, so that was a real problem. However, I have some more photos for you. Rather than wander around the garden, I did actually take some pictures for you this morning so you can sort of see what's going on. And then you can see how things have progressed so far. So if I just turn the live stream, flick onto there. There you go. Right. So this is where we're at now. Hopefully you can see this okay. These are the posts that are not parallel to the house. And there's actually one off shot here. There's 5 posts down here, which are all parallel. And of course, because this post is 50 centimeters closer to the house here than that one down there, these timbers that run across here are all different lengths. And to make matters worse, because this comes in, so it's no longer parallel, we've gone for right angles at this end, but of course, when it meets here, they're not right angles. It's about 5 or 6 degrees or something. It's not a huge amount, but it does mean that we had to modify the little brackets that hold them onto the rail. So that was pretty good. We got all that sorted out in the end, worked it out. And that's how it's sort of coming on now. Oh, the house is currently being painted as well, by the way. So there's lots of work going on at the moment. But you can see the longer brackets are already in place at the back. That one has to come off. That one, we put it on, just in case, but that's going to get taken off and there'll be some square washers go on there. And then there'll be one more beam to go about here to come across, and then one right at the end to come across at an angle. Because it's not square, it's about 10 meters across the bag, whereas across the front, which is that one picture there, look, this one that's a full 6 meter length, so it's exactly 6 meters across there. See Trevor the tractor doing a pose for you there. But if you look very carefully, you can see, I tried to get it on the photo, you can see that this rail here cannot be level anymore because of the nature of the design. It actually sits up about 60, 70 mil higher at one end than the other. We get the next one. There we go. Look, so you got the final bit there. Look, no paint on the house, just needs sanding and then painting. So we're getting close. We've only done the back of the house so far. I said we've done it. We haven't done it yet. We're halfway there. There's also going to be, you can see some more brackets on the outer here. Look, so if I go back to the previous photo, there, look. We've got some more brackets here because the roof is going to extend about 1 meter further. So because it rains and it's pretty windy down here sometimes, we don't want the wind to go underneath and onto the deck. It was just an afterthought. There's a lot of afterthoughts going on. We've still got one more rail to put across and the ends then to do, and that's today's job. Hopefully we'll get it all done. But there you go. That's sort of the pictures. Is that all of them? I don't know. Where's the thing gone? Come back. There you go. That's it. Right. Back to the live stream piece to camera stuff. There you go. Boom. Oh, ramble, but hopefully you'll get a rough idea of what's going on outside in the garden of the Andy Mechanic workshop area. It's pretty busy, and those bits of timber were ridiculously heavy, sodden wet. We've got a lot of rain down here, and when I picked them up, they were already wet. So, and there was no way that we're going to dry out properly before we put them up. But they are all proper treated timber. I think they're H4 standard. So we're all good there. Right, back to the live. Where have we gone? Back to the live stream. Dunk. There we go. Pat, the sand only stings a bit. I'm used to it. Oh, honestly, when I did the first lot of big plates, we didn't have the sandblasting cabinet, as you know, so I had to do them outside with the external sandblaster. and it was just absolutely horrific. However, it did work really well, even though we only had 3 air compressors at the time. We had Ben's air compressor, my little one, and the one on the bench. So we were way down on CFM, air volume, but it actually did very, very well considering. But it was very fits and starts. It used to keep blocking up, and it was a long night doing those. But I got them all done in one afternoon, much faster, even faster than the current cabinet. But it was just hideous. I felt terrible for a couple of days. Yeah, I was wearing a mask and I had all the gear on, but yeah, just there was grit absolutely everywhere. Wasn't good. And the mess it made outside was just a joke. So it's like, nah, not doing this again. Simon, is that the new copper hammer in the box? It is. The new magic hammer has been in use much for adjusting things. It's very good at adjusting stuff. God, what's going on today? I think it's the wrong kind of lighter. I don't know. Scott, what a fantastic idea. I like it. Thank you, Scott. The tote, I mean. The tote. You mean the box? I'm not too sure what tote means. The box. The box that Ben made. Yes, it works really, really well. Kev Stroll Monochrome Racing, being in Scarborough today. Think you were from round there. Lovely sunshine. I was. Scarborough, Pickering, York, that sort of area. Yes. Simon, the drop on the roof running away from the house. Call it a design feature to run water away from those foundations. I think so. It's going to look fine when it's all done. It just looked a bit odd when we first started doing it, and I had to get my head around it because the roof had to be, parallel. There was no way I was going to accept a twist in the roof. That would have caused endless problems later on for putting the corrugated iron on because it wouldn't want to sit properly. It would and it wouldn't look right. It would look odd. So I wasn't prepared to go there. So some minor adjustments were required, and as it turned out, I think we did a pretty good job. Made it pretty complicated on some of the cuts though, but we got there. Sheldon is in the workshop. Good morning, Sheldon. Great job, Bob the Builder. Honestly, it's been a catalogue of comedy as me and Ben doing that work. It's just from lifting the beams up to slipping, falling off ladders, drilling holes in the wrong place, dropping so many brackets on the floor. It's just been classic. We've had so much fun doing it. We probably haven't got as far as we'd hoped we were going to get. I've only got today and tomorrow left with Ben. Tuesday is going to be a special day because it's birthday day for Mrs. Mechanic and Ben. Belated for both of them, but we're going to have a day doing something else. They've both worked tremendously hard. And in between doing the deck stuff, we've also, when we've been raining hard and stuff, we've been coming back in the workshop and cracking on with making brackets and doing the kits and bits and pieces. So every day has been a long day, and all three of us have been pretty much flat out from early in the morning until way after dark, usually getting finished about 7 p.m. So we're out there with head torches and stuff and torchy, seeing what we can do, trying to get, at least to a reasonable finish point for that day. We don't want to leave a beam bolted at one end and just clamped at the other. That would be unprofessional. So we'd finish off that particular beam. But I do enjoy building stuff. I hate timber. I love the feel of timber. I like the look of timber, but I absolutely detest the ununiforminess of timber. Every single plank is different, whether it's got a slight burr one way or a slight burr the other way, or it's a bit warped or even twisted is the worst. And those 100 by 100 posts are really bad for that. They do, as soon as they dry out, they twist. Some of them twist really badly to the point where you just can't use them. Steel, man, it's the same all the way along. It works. It's easy to be very accurate and to do a really good job. With timber, it's a bit of a law unto itself, and you've got to be a bit aware of that and choose your bits of timber right for the certain parts of the build. The long stuff, it really needs to be straight. The slightly twisted stuff, you can get away with that as shorter pieces and then pull it into line. But it's You know, that's why it takes so long. It's not a 5 minute job, and there's a lot of timber going into that. It really is. And you know, once we start to do the deck area, that's a huge area to cover. It's going to be a fair load of timber from the sawmill down south. It really is. Anyway, so plan of attack. We've covered what we've done so far. What are we still going to get done? Well, all the large timbers should be up. That's what I really need Ben for, because it's a bit hard work lifting one of those up on your own. It really is. Hopefully we'll get all the purlins. That's what I'm calling a purlin. Not sure if it's right or not. All the way across. They're the red bits on the drawing. Dum dum dum. We're not going to get. Ben won't be helping me with either of the two overhangs. We won't have time for that. That's going to have to be Andy and Mrs. Mechanic further down the line doing all of that. And then once they're done, I can have a final measure up for all the corrugated iron. And there's a place about an hour and a half away. Yeah, about an hour and a half away they are, that will make each length. They'll cut it, but they actually make it on site, and that you can order whatever lengths you want. I think up to about 8 or 10 meter lengths. It's pretty crazy. The whole thing has been designed around the maximum capacity of the trailer, basically. And the longest I can get on the trailer would probably be about 6.5 meters, maybe 7 at a push, with a bit of an overhang and a flag on the back. Probably go with that. But I'm not entirely sure what the final length is going to be at this point in time, so I've not ordered any corrugated iron as of yet. That'll get ordered in a couple of weeks' time, or maybe a month's time, know what I mean. But it's definitely getting built a lot quicker than the carport was. And once this deck's all finished, then we move straight on to building the second carport, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be a totally different design, very different with an apex roof and some nice big timbers in there. It's going to be cool. We'll look forward to building that one. Maybe I can join this one as well. And we've been extremely lucky with the weather. The last 2 days hasn't rained at all. And today it's not supposed to rain at all. It's a bit cold, but it's not going to rain, which is good because you work faster. And tomorrow, I think there's only a little bit of rain. So we should be all right, I think, at the moment. AJ 44, morning Andy and crew from the Lake House, sounds very posh. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Very nice. 32 degrees C and loving it. Living the dream, AJ. Absolutely. Good job, man. I cannot believe my internet is absolutely... I can still make myself out, but it's super pixelated at this end. I have no idea what's going on, whether it's the weather or what. It wasn't bad at the start. I might have another go for a refresh. Simon says do a refresh, so I'm going to do a refresh. Boom. See what happens. Probably lose the feed altogether, I may. And of course, we get the obligatory advert at the start again. God damn it. Oh, look at that. Sun shines. He's got his shades on. Good man. Skip the ad. Go away, ad. Boom. Nah, still pixelated. Can't win. Maybe I can change on the settings. Bear with me. Settings. Quality. Auto. I want to go for better than that. Oh no. It is 720, my ass. That's not 720. That's like 3. So, next week, Tuesday, family day, which would be good. Tuesday night, I have to drive up to Auckland. Yes, I know I was going to work from home all next week, but that's not happening now. It's all changed. Up to Auckland Tuesday night. Wednesday, I spend the whole day at a police station, one of the depots. And I've got to be there to assist with the calibration of the digital speedos on their police bikes on the dyno. Should be good. Enjoy that. Oh, when is the bunny coming to the workshop? Treacle is the name of the bunny. Treacle is now about twice the size he was when we found him in the garden, hiding behind some of the trailer sides. He's getting massive. He's extremely curious. We have this sneaky suspicion he's trying to escape. He eats everything. including his hutch and his in-house hutch. He's eating that big time, which is made from a beer crate. So I've got to watch that. But luckily, he's growing quicker than the hole he can create. So, you know, it's good, isn't it? Can't get out. He has to keep chomping the wood, and he's never going to get out. No way. He's too big for that now. I don't know. Treacle in the workshop. Maybe I'll bring him in his house hutch and you have a look at Treacle. Don't know. Why did we choose the name Treacle? Well, the shop dog is called Marmite, so there you go. Marmite goes on the toast. Treacle can go on toast. I know. It's a strange way of coming up with a name, isn't it? God, I'm getting hungry and I'm getting cold because being sat here, sort of inactive, just in a cold workshop, and the workbench is still freezing cold. It takes a long time for this to warm up. Even the coffee's getting cold. Yeah, so Wednesday doing the police bikes, Thursday, Friday, back in the workshop building some more. I think we're on schedule. I say I've had a whole week off. Apart from that morning doing my emails, I haven't even looked at my phone. I haven't taken any calls. I haven't answered any emails there and then. Basically, I've got to stay focused on getting the deck built. That's what I'm here to do. And work will just have to wait until I get back up to Auckland. Oh, Bonnie. Sorry, I thought it was a typo, Simon. Bonneville. The Bonneville I'll be picking up ideally on Friday. So perfect timing, Simon. I'm bringing that back down on Friday night on the trailer. So it will be here for next weekend, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, Sunday's live stream. We can take a look. Sheldon, we used to do police cars on our dyno for speed checking. You see, small world, isn't it? Small world indeed. AJ has just fired one through. Not sure if you remember about the 2005, where are we now? 700 Suzuki King Quad with the ECU issue. I do. So far, it's been running perfect with a new ECU. Fingers crossed. Must have had a bad diode or relay in the ECU motherboard. I don't think they have relays in there, but pie. But that's really good news. I mean, it's not very often ECUs fail, to be honest. The one thing I'll be really, really conscious about if you've had a failed ECU is something like a bad earth or a bad power feed, or maybe an overcharging situation that could have damaged the previous ECU over time, or maybe a short to ground on one of the output circuits. You know, that can burn out drivers and stuff. So I have had it before where techs have replaced an ECU and further down the line it's failed again. I actually had one not too long ago on an ROV, and he put a new ECU in it and it lasted 5 minutes and it blew that one. And he rang me up and said, "Oh, what could we do?" And I said, "Well, I think you need to check your wiring." And sure enough, down on the floor pan of the ROV, some of the wiring had rubbed. It was a direct short to ground, and I think from memory it was on the crank angle sensor, although I could be wrong. But it burnt the ECU out. That was it, game over. It didn't last very long at all. So luckily, you know, second time round when they put another ECU in it, after fixing the wiring, of course, it's been good ever since. But it just goes to show that you've got to check everything. Suspect the ECU is the last thing. It's not normal that they fail on their own. There's usually an exterior fault that causes them to fail. It wasn't the case with the MR2. That was an internal fault with one of the capacitors on the, what was it, IGF? I think it was. Yeah, IGF or IGT. One of them. One of those circuits, can't quite remember now. One of them. It was the feedback circuit anyway, to confirm it had a spark. You know, an ignition occurrence. Right. Let's go and get this pie. I'm starving. Turning round. 3, 2, 1. Boom! There we go. Dum 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 dum. Dum dum dum. Ooh, it's looking nice and crispy. What have we got? Got a bit of lift on the lid. Has it broken? Oh, it has sort of just broken through, hasn't it? The bonding has failed. It's nice and warm in there. Put my hand in there and warm up. Nice. Underneath, we're still looking pretty good. Around the sides, yeah, we've got a little bit of failure on the lid. I'll leave that open. Might warm the workshop up. Who knows? Okay, back to the bench. Pie time. Woohoo! Boom. Well, I sincerely hope that your picture at your end is far better than mine, because mine is absolutely horrendous. Okay, pie review. We've done many. If you just joined us for this first live stream, we've done many of these pie reviews over the years. Oh, actually, over the last couple of years, I think we started. Maybe last year we started. We've done lots, and obviously I do a lot of research in the background. You know, I usually have a pie every day wherever I go, and I've sort of become accustomed to it. You know, I don't get me pie, I get a bit grumpy. It's weird. Anyway, this one is from Ponsonby Pies. Now, don't get tricked; they're not from Ponsonby. I think it's fantastic marketing to say they're from Ponsonby, because Ponsonby is quite a posh area of Auckland, very traditional area, lots of nice old houses up there and stuff, villas they call them. This is actually made in, I can never pronounce the place, a place called Taronga, down there. Look, can you see that on there, the address? So they're made miles away from Ponsonby, nothing to do with Ponsonby at all. Maybe the company originated from there, you know, at the start, I don't know. But they say it's an award-winning pastry. Really? We'll find out. It's only 170 grams. It's not a particularly big pie. It says New Zealand Supreme Pie Competition, multiple award winners. Wow. Heating instructions. We've done that already. Microwave? No, you would microwave a pie. Seriously. You need a pie warmer for that. Okay, we'll get to the rest of the packaging later on. The pie is going to be getting cold pretty quick. So, quick zoom round again. No cracks whatsoever. So structural integrity is excellent on the main base of the pie. However, we've got some lifting of the lid around this area here. So we'll start there, I think. I'm going in. Could be really hot. Egg. Straight in for the egg. Not bad. Not bad at all. Hang on. Let's have a look. Scott, making me hungry. Well, hungry. Good. Picture is 8 out of 10. Well, that's quite acceptable, isn't it? Mine is atrocious. George Bonnie 90. Hello, everybody. Good morning, George. Welcome back to the workshop, sir. Scott, could the ECU have got wet? Are all-weather seals in good shape? Very good point. Very good point indeed. Does the ECU, does it show any sign of swelling or heat damage, impact damage, you know, that kind of stuff? It can happen. It's not bad. This is a bacon and egg pie. I'm a bit dubious as to what that is. It tasted a bit like sausage for some reason. Strange. Anyway, we need to score this pie. We need to find out where it sits in the world of pies. So, taste stroke flavour of the contents. This doesn't include the pastry. The egg was very nice, actually. It's not runny at all. It's, you know, it's actually pretty good. And a very stable pie. I like stable pies. It's all right. It's not brilliant, but it's all right. Taste of the contents. Gonna give it a 7. I might change my mind later on, because, you know, we've got a lot of pie still to go. Now, structure Foley Partners. It's a bit early in the day, but at the moment, it would definitely get a 10 out of 10. Even that lifting of the lid hasn't caused a problem at all. Runnability test. Well, we know how this is going to go. 45 degrees for 30 seconds. There's absolutely zero movement out of this pie. It's a very, very safe pie to be eating whilst doing other stuff. You don't need to focus too much on the contents oozing out and going all over the place. Mrs. Mechanic had a chicken tikka pie a few weeks ago, and she got about halfway through it, and the whole thing just fell apart in the bag. Luckily, she was eating it out of a paper bag, and it just turned to mush, you know. This pie looks like it's going to stay together for the duration, which is really important. Okay. Great cross section. We've got the eggs out over here. This is where we started. And now we've got some pieces of bacon. Quite large chunks of bacon, actually, as well. Not the little tiny fragments that we've seen in previous pies. I mean, maybe because this is a dedicated bacon and egg pie, they've gone a bit further out to put some decent bacon in there. And you see the white of the egg has become a bonding agent around the rest of the contents. Very smart move by Ponsonby Pies, just to hold the whole thing together. I like that. So, runnability, 10, perfect. Absolutely spot on. Meat quality, well, there's a piece of bacon. I mean, sure, it's not fried bacon out of the frying pan. It's never going to be like that in a pie. But it's not bad. It doesn't taste too bad. I'm going to give that, and the bacon is the only meat in there, I'm going to give that, I'm going to give it a 9. It could be better, you know, if you're making your own pie and you put real crackled bacon in there. Ooh, that'd be good. Now, pie to crust ratio. So that's the amount of volume on the cross section of the pastry versus the contents around here. Look, it's almost like a lecture, this, isn't it? It's pretty good. The base is actually quite thick. There's probably about 5 millimeters of depth of pastry. AJ, sorry, mate. It's about 5 millimeters depth of pastry. So this is probably one of the reasons why it's such a structurally solid pie. It's got quite a depth there. Crispy on the outside bit, but then you can see it goes slightly more gooey. There's like 2 layers of pastry. Very, very clever. Whether that's just the way it's cooked or whether they've deliberately bonded 2 types of pastry together to make this pie, I have no idea. I'm not a cook. I just eat the pies. Super strong. See that up. We've got a fracture on the casing because when I bit into it, the pastry was so rigid that the forces are transferred across the pie, causing that crack to occur. It's not very flexible. You can't have it all. Still, very good. So, pie to crust ratio, we've seen better, to be honest. We've seen thinner pastry and more volume. I'm going to give that, out of 10, yeah, it's very thick up in the corner as well here. Look, you see there, look, there's a big chunk of pastry, is that. Means for a nice rigid pie, but it's quite a chunk to eat. And if it's dry, it can be really detrimental to the pie because you don't want your mouth to, you need a drink to go down with it. Usually a coffee, obviously. Yeah, there's a hell of a thing. It's probably about 10 millimeters across the widest point in pastry on that side there. Not quite so much on this side though. Okay, we digress. Pie to crust ratio, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's not too bad. It could be worse, that's for sure, but it also could be better. Oh, pardon me. First burp. Remember that for later on. Availability stroke logistics. Well, I don't see these pies around a lot. And I've been around New Zealand a lot. Where do these come from? I think Ben picked these up on his way down. Somewhere. Don't know where. Ponsonby Pies. Let's have a little look on their website and see what they say. Google. Bear with me, people. We need to be as accurate as possible. Pies. And Ponsonby is quite a posh area for restaurants and stuff as well. Right, Ponsonby Pies Gourmet Foods Limited in Taronga. Welcome to our place. Do you want to see this? You probably want to see this, don't you? Let's have a look. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, so what have we got? Welcome to our place. Who is Ponsonby Pies? Ponsonby Pies, Gourmet Foods, brands. Oh, Pat's Pantry. We've had some of their stuff before. Right, show me. Ponsonby pies. There we go. Who is Ponsonby pies? Oh, we've just done that bit. Honestly, why would I link to go back to the same page again? Dumb nuts. About brands, catalogue, contact, product restock, catalogue. I don't know. Catalogue? Oh, it's a PDF. This is very posh. Could be anything in here. Downloading. Look at the Wheel of Death. I think we'll give that a miss. Too long. Okay. Taranga, positive versions, larger. Tasting products from the brand that everyone knows. Quality product, Ponsonby pies. Hereford beef. Well, there's no with no meat fillers like soy proteins. We believe when you buy a meat pie, it's what you should get. Exactly. Also among the flavors are many chicken variants: butter chicken, chicken kurma, chicken veggie, and to name a few. Vegetarian, nasty. And they've won many, many awards. It doesn't tell us anywhere about where you can get them from. Interesting. Let's try home. That is home, isn't it? Okay. Your website could be better, but we're not scoring that today. Right. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Sort the camera out. Oh, there we go. That'll work. So we're going to have to go on my knowledge alone for this. You're not quite level, are you? God damn it, Andy. There we are. That's almost level. Too picky. Okay. I don't think they're that readily available, in all honesty. Ben will have got these from a dairy somewhere. So, there's nothing on the website to say you can buy them on the website. I haven't seen them in a supermarket before. I really haven't. So, dairies only, not petrol stations. I think maybe a 4. Let's give them a 4 for that one. Don't want to stall too long. Pastry taste rating. Okay. I'm going to tear off that big chunk of pastry. There we go, look. Big chunk of pastry. Very crunchy. That was the bit from the corner here, look. It is quite tasty. As more flavour comes through as you bite into it and as it breaks up, which is good. Okay. I would have to concur. The pastry is pretty good. It's quite dry, isn't it? It's very dry, but it's quite dry though. You see that? That's a lot of pastry. It really is. Okay, pastry taste rating. If it wasn't quite so dry, they'd get a better score. I'm going to give them an 8. So I'm sorry, Ponsonby pies. But as far as Andy Mechanic's concerned, it's only an 8. Maybe the ones that went for your awards, that were submitted for the awards, weren't quite as well cooked as this one. Maybe this one's slightly overcooked. I don't know. Packaging design. Hang on. Well, it's simple, that's for sure. I think it's quite distinctive. And they use, again, the colour codes of each bag denotes what's in the bag as well. So it's very easy to spot your pie, your favourite pie, when you go to the dairy. They're not all in the same bag. You don't have to read what's on the front. You can just go, I want a blue one, please. A bit like you do with packets of crisps, Walker's crisps, Good idea. I like that. It is simple. There's no window. You can't see what you're buying. It's all hidden away inside the bag. I had no idea what this pie looked like, or at least the build quality, so to speak, before purchase. Neither did Ben, obviously. So, a lot of information on the back. I like that. It tells you how to cook it from, if it's been frozen, how to cook it from thawed, microwave it from thawed, heating from frozen, microwave from frozen. There's lots of different instructions there based on the status of the pie. So they've been super helpful. Check out our other delicious flavors. They've got the website on there and things. So they've put a bit of thought into it. I think, it's not bad. It's not the best packaging, but it's not bad. It looks traditional. It looks like you're getting a really quality pie, even though you can't see it. That's marketing for you, isn't it? telling you, making you a promise from the printing on the outside of the packaging that you are drawn in to think that what's inside the packaging is going to taste great. So, what do I give them? I'm going to give them an 8 for that. I think it's not bad at all. Maybe a little window just to see the pie, that would help. Recyclable score. I don't know. Bear with me. Is it recyclable? I don't think, no, it's not. If I just open it up, can you see it's quite shiny in there, look. Again, it's another one of those paper bags with a plastic liner to it to preserve the pie. So this is not recyclable. Do they tell us to put it in the bin responsibly? Or are they not that bothered? I don't see anything on there about disposing of this wrapper responsibly, which means they get 0. Wow, a big fat 0. Ponsonby pies, you can do better than this. Post pie heartburn factor, too early to tell. We've had 1 burp so far, so the score's down to 9. Another bite, I think. Now that's a lot of pastry to go in there, and there's no filling with that at all. So very crunchy. Now, back to the comments. Oh, hang on. Scroll back. Ooh. AJ, that was a really dry bit. Cold coffee. Oh. That was very dry. So I'm going to knock one off on the pastry. Pastry is now 7. Sorry, it has to be. That was too dry for a pie. Still tastes good, but too dry. AJ, good to know. I did go through all the spaghetti wiring and check for chafing and removed all the grounds, cleaned and checked as well. Good man. Check them for continuity. All checked good. Regulator, stator, etc. All good. Excellent. You've done all the basic checks. So maybe it was just an ECU internal failure. Fingers crossed. Daniel, hello, mate. Good morning, Daniel. Welcome back to the workshop, sir. AJ, there was no evidence of water, and I'm diligent of disconnecting all the connections, making sure they are clean, and a dab of dielectric during the yearly big service. That's very, very good. Well done, mate. Simon, looks a well-filled pie. It's not bad. Look, you're still going. Still got some more egg to go at. Daniel, just did a diagnostics and clean out on the drainage system. Damn. Seeing that pie now, I'm hungry, and so you should be. That's one of the ideas. Scott, I think I could manage 2 of those pies. I could certainly manage 2 of these pies, without a doubt. It's not bad. It does get cold pretty quick. This is actually quite cold now. Oh, we're out of sync. I can't do a refresh on that phone. Maybe try at your end. Okay. Simon, was that a Walker's hint, lol? Simon sent me Walker's crisps all the way from the UK in the past. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Simon. But no, you don't have to send me any more. It's all right. It wasn't a hint. It was just a reference to having, food product bags color coded. And Walker's came straight to mind. Scott, forget the last message. It's fine now. Thank God for that. Thank you, Scott. Nick Young, 1961. Good morning, Andy. Pie looks good. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's not my favorite style of pie. I like me steak and cheese, but for what it wasn't bad. And we're still busy scoring it. There's still some more scores to settle. Daniel messaged me on Facebook. Hang on a minute. Bear with me, Daniel. Oh, yes, you did. I get so carried away with pie eating. It's just the way it is. Right, hang on. Got to find that one. Oh, yes. Right, here we go. Daniel did a diagnostic on a lady's car that had already been to a different garage. Daniel says, I'm going to read this out to you. It's quite a long one, but so bear with me. I'll try and read it in my best English accent. Right, customer states, I was told that I need to replace the throttle body, both of the accelerator pedal position sensors, and the map sensor because I have these codes. A P2138, a P0108 on my son's 2007 Honda Accord EX 3 litre. I want you to give me a price of how much you would charge to replace the throttle body. This is the customer to Daniel. Because first, I want to replace the pieces one at a time. Trying to save some money. I tell the customer, this is Daniel, Daniel tells the customer, well, Mama, let me put my scan tool on it and let me see what is going on for myself. Perfect. Never trust any information that comes from a different technician. That's a good rule of thumb, because sometimes it can be wrong and misleading, and then you end up going down a rabbit hole and it all turns to shit. I want to start from scratch, and then we'll go from there. Today, I verified, yes, in fact, those two codes did, in fact, exist in both pending and stored codes. So, after reading a brief description of the P0108 map sensor voltage circuit high voltage code, I realized that this code would affect drivability if the sensor is bad or had some corrosion on the terminals, or if it had a pin fitment issue. Basically, if the ECU's either not seeing a voltage or seeing a different voltage on the signal than what reflects the correct. So I figured I'll check it out. What I then noticed is that the connector for the map sensor was completely disconnected from it and was sitting on top of a metal engine component. Critical point there. So I had the lady come over to the vehicle before I touched anything else, and I asked her to find the same part that she was told she needed to buy along with the picture of it too. So she found it and asked me, isn't there supposed to be wires connected to it? I said, yes, Mama. As a matter of fact, that's why I called you over here. So you yourself can see what's wrong with your son's car. Right in front of her, I plugged in the map sensor connector, and then I had her drive it to see if it acted any differently. Sure enough, the bucking and hesitation whilst driving, it went away. And no more codes, both of the codes are no longer present. So all it was an unplugged sensor, an unplugged map sensor. That was the issue. It didn't require any new components at all. So how could that be? How did the sensor get unplugged originally? Was it the previous garage? Through their testing, they were pulling bits and pieces apart and just forgot to plug it back in again? Or, for some unknown reason, had it just become unplugged? Maybe it wasn't quite clipped into place and through vibration it just dropped out. I don't know. So I go on to Daniel. Visual inspection is so important, which of course it is on diagnostics. And Daniel says, right, that's why I tell people not to take their vehicles to a place like, I can't mention the name, sorry, because they give these two ladies faulty diagnostics, telling them that they had to replace all of those parts because of a critical sensor being unplugged. They really dropped the ball on that one. They did, and it happens all the time. Often technicians will massively overlook such a simple problem, especially with fuel injected vehicles. As soon as they see a fault code, It's like, oh, it must be that. And what they don't do, not all of them, but what some of them don't do, is they don't actually go for the basics first. Visual inspection. Is the engine mechanically sound? Has it got good compression? You know, that kind of stuff. Is it burning oil? You know, simple questions. And they just go straight down with a scan tool and start pulling sensors off and firing the parts cannon, putting new parts on, and of course it doesn't fix the fault. Anyway, we all live and learn. Right, Structure Foley Partners, quick review because we've got a few more scores to put on here. Structure Foley Partners was superb. It's going to get a full 10 for that. Still tasty when cold. It wasn't bad. Is it a pie that I'd just eat out of the glove box? Well, it's got an egg in it. Based on just purely flavour when it was cold, it would do the job. It wouldn't be super tasty. You know, cold egg to me isn't fantastic. Cold bacon, almost as good as hot bacon. I'm going to give it an 8. I think an 8 is a fair score. Post pie heartburn, only one single burp, so it gets a full 9 for that. Only loses 1 mark. Stuffability score, am I stuffed? Probably going to have something else to eat a bit later on this morning now. It hasn't filled me up completely. I'm going to give it a 6. I'll leave it a 6 on that one. Pie server attractiveness, I don't know. I'm going to have to just go for a generic 5 on this one. I do not know. Ben didn't mention that. He wasn't aware I was going to include that pie in the live stream. So it's just going to get 5. Yes, it might sway the numbers a little bit. It might have been some, you know, page 3 model serving the pie. I don't think it would have been. It might have been some old granny or granddad for that matter. Who knows? So I think 5, an average score on that one, is the only way we can move forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 13 scores. Let's get it added up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Right, just going to get the camera sorted out so you can see the numbers and you can verify my arithmetic. Okay, we have got, very quickly, we've got 27 for the first 3. 36, 43, 47, 54, 62, 70, 70, 79, 85, 90. Not bad. Not a bad score. Well done, Ponsonby Pies. I mean, not the best score by any means, but we've not seen a 90 for a while, have we? You can't see it now. There we are. Look, right. So this one was, get it back in the camera. It was a Ponsonby Pies. And it was a bacon, an egg. And I'm going to put the size of it because it was only a small one, but 170 gram on there because I've got enough room. And it got 90. There we go. Right. Let's go and see where that ends up on the leaderboard. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Geez, 90. That's not bad at all, really. And it was pretty tasty. I think it's a fair score. Right, so it's going to end up somewhere around there, so we'll just stick it up there for now. Can we make enough room? Probably not. Oh, God, this could take a while. Sorry, people. Nearly there. So many pies. 90. So we'll stick that one up there. Look, right. Just enough room for that one. See, it's not fixed. Otherwise, I don't really have a space, wouldn't I? Right. There we go. Terrible camera work, Andy. Ponsonby Pies, bacon and eggs, 170 grams. Got a 90, which is way above average based on the ones that we've surveyed. So there you go. Look. It's not bad. Only 16 off the top mark. And don't forget, that one was a chicken, bacon, mushroom and cheese from Attersbar. Really, really, really tasty. And not my favourite filling. So it must have been bloody good to get that score. Very good. That's a lot of pies. And the list is just getting longer, isn't it? Jeez. Things I do for you lot. Right, back to the bench. A few more comments. And then Andy's got to go and build a deck. Well, a deck roof. with Ben. Hopefully Ben, in fact, Ben is out of bed. Jesus, get your camera sorted out, mister. There we go. Perfect. Ben was having his $2 noodles for his breakfast, which he tends to do. I can't eat noodles for breakfast. No way, Jose. Mrs. Mechanic, if you're around, could I have another coffee, please? This one is stone cold. Oh, that one's run out. Luckily, I zoomed out to the shops earlier on. Just before the live stream started, I managed to grab some more cigarettes. I did. I've got cigarettes for the whole day now, which is nice. I can focus on getting that roof done. And it's taking shape. Oh, it's taking shape. It really is. I'm very pleased the way things are going. But the important thing is not to rush it, because then you make mistakes, you make compromises. And like I said to Ben, every piece of timber that goes up has to be right. Otherwise, it doesn't go up. Do it again. Now, where do we get to? Test, don't guess. Scott, you are absolutely right. Simon, it's too easy to read a code. Even sitting in the driver's seat with the live data, a lot of information can be gained. It can. Ivan's done a few of those recently where he's not even popped the bonnet. He's just gone straight into the scan tool, looked at the live data, looked at the codes, looked at the history, cleared them, taken for a drive, see which ones come back first, and go from there. And it can often be something very simple. I mean, you know, fuel injection systems themselves are incredibly reliable. The weak point is the wiring, and we see it time and time again on Ivan's videos and Keith's videos as well, and Eric's, where it's just a damaged, broken, rubbed through wire, whatever it is. It's more of a wiring issue. Sometimes often corroded pins. You know, water gets into a plug on the loom and it causes a short, or puts a voltage on another wire that shouldn't have a voltage, and it sets off alarm bells in the ECU, and it gets really upset and fires loads of codes. It's not that often it's the actual components. It's usually the wiring or the plugs, not full contact. Points of high resistance or no contact. Where do we get to? Daniel. Just the map sensor from a dealership was going to cost her $155.16 US cents. Yes. The throttle body was going to cost her $947 US. That's ridiculous. And each accelerator position sensor was going to cost $346 plus tax. That's a horrendous amount of money. I mean, luckily she brought the car to you to be double checked. A lot of people wouldn't. They just say, okay, fix it. You know, it makes me think that maybe the dealership is just firing the parts cannon to try and make some money, rather than priority one, fix the car. It's all about the profit. And you know, I'm a strong believer that if you fit a part to a car, an electronic part, to a fuel injection system or any electronic circuit, and it doesn't fix the fault, the customer shouldn't be charged for that part. They're not there to pay for parts that they don't need. And I've had a couple of cases of that here in New Zealand where I've really put my foot down with that. And you know, basically, you know, my advice is you need to refund that part. They didn't need it, so you shouldn't have replaced it. You shouldn't have charged them for it. It is difficult. It is, especially sometimes when you're doing a diagnostic, and you know you've got potentially two failed components and you can't identify which one it is. Then you know, I mean, sure, if you've got customer consent and they're happy for you to try replacing the cheaper component first and see if that fixes the fault, then the customer takes the risk. But if you just do it, then you shouldn't do it. Daniel, plus my cost of labour, $25 for a map sensor, for the map sensor, $150 for the throttle body, and $75 each for the accelerator position sensors. That's a hell of a difference. Add up all of that cost. Yes. Scott, Erico's philosophy, top chap, great tech. He is. Man, he knows so much stuff, does Eric. A great guy. And makes good videos and regular videos. Unlike me, I've not made a video for about 5 weeks now, which is just horrendous. I'll get round to it. I'm just too busy at the moment. Daniel, I only charged her $20 for the diag and to reconnect the map sensor. Customer for life. And that's what you need to look at as well. A lot of places, they think so short term. They think about the here and the now and the invoice value, the profit on that particular job. And it's all about, in my opinion, building a loyal customer base where they're going to keep coming back time and time again. And you get to clip the ticket every single time the vehicle comes down. If you sting them once, chances are they'll go somewhere else, especially if you haven't fixed the problem. They aren't going to come back. They're going to try somebody else. At the end of the day, you're building a relationship. The customer needs to be able to trust you as a tech, as a mechanic, you know. And unfortunately, the industry in general, certainly here in New Zealand, a lot of customers think that the garages are out to get them. They're going to charge them an arm and a leg to fix their car every time it goes. And they'll try different garages, you know, each time the car has a fault. It's not good. It's not how it should be. Honesty counts. It does. Honesty builds trust. You know, be frank about the whole thing. It's important. It really is. Especially this, customers are very fickle these days, unfortunately, and also extremely swayed by marketing. You know, you get an advert on TV for a chain of stores that do car repairs, and it looks real glitzy and glamorous on the advert, but in reality, behind the scenes, it can be far from it sometimes. Yeah, marketing guys do a wonderful job, don't they? Daniel, do you remember the lady I told you about, the Chevy Cruze 1.8 litre turbo that had the ignition control circuit diodes? Same lady. Wow. I think I do just about remember that one, Daniel. It was a while ago now, I think. But yeah, crazy. Well, she came back. She wanted your opinion because you did a good job on the first car. She trusted you, and that pays the bills. Connor K, the loyal customer base will tell their friends, the best kind of marketing. Exactly. It really is. You know, with all the modern social platforms like Facebook and alike, Instagram and so on, when you do something bad to your customer, you fleece them, you overcharge them, you don't fix the fault, whatever it is, sometimes you just speak to them badly. Maybe you're having a bad day and you just use the wrong words. That gets out there and it propagates really quickly, and you can lose a lot of customers because of that. You know, if you do a good job, yeah, they might tell some of their friends and you might gain a couple more customers from it. But if you do a bad job, you're going to lose a lot more than a couple of customers, that's for sure. You get a bad name for yourself, and that's not good. Indeed, Daniel, that's right. Simon, I find trade customers a lot better to deal with. Public can be a bit funny when it comes to paying up. Yes, you've got to be very, very wary about making sure you get full payment before they take the car. I don't offer any form of credit whatsoever. I mean, sure, the surf club stuff that I do, they are very good. They don't pay on delivery. Sometimes they even pay in advance of delivery of the vehicle back because the work's all been done. And it might take me a week through logistics to get the machine back to them. So that's perfect. You know, I know that the money's in the bank before the machine even goes back to them. There are occasions where it might be a week after I've delivered it, but if it's over a week, then I will chase it, and whichever club it is, it does vary from one club to another. It gets paid very, very quickly. Don't have any problems at all chasing bad debt, so to speak. And I believe it's all about making them aware right at the start, especially for me, because I don't run a business as such doing those repairs. I really only do very, very select customers, and I tell them right at the start, yes, I will fix it, but the invoice needs to be paid immediately. No messing around. I don't have the time or the memory capacity to remember who owes me what. That's just not going to happen. Scott, great stream tonight. I shall look forward to next week. Thanks, Andy and crew. Cheers, Scott, for joining us. Really appreciate it. We're an hour and 20 minutes in, which just means I'm sort of 20 minutes over what I plan to do. I'm going to finish this cigarette. I'm going to call it a day. Thank you, Scott. I have got a lot to get done today, and no doubt we're going to be working into the dark again. today and tomorrow to try and get everything done that I really want to get done on that roof. Very different kind of thing that I'm doing at the moment to what I normally do. I know I'm not working on motorbikes. We have got the Bonnie in the wings. That's not far away at all. And there'll definitely be some videos on that for sure. So the deck will have to wait. Don't tell Mrs. Mechanic. She'll get upset. She's looking forward to that deck being finished. But I've told her it's all about cash flow. It's not a cheap thing to do. I mean, so far it's probably cost in timber, and not all the timber's on the roof yet, but there'll be probably a couple of $1,000s of the timber. That's New Zealand dollars. I reckon the corrugated iron will be another 2,000, maybe 1,800 on top of that, and that's just for the roof. And then we've got the deck floor to do, and I reckon there'll be probably $2,500 of the timber on that. So the whole project, including all the fasteners and bits and pieces, we're probably looking at $6,000 to $7,000 for that deck. A lot of money. It's got to be right. Do it once, do it right, and don't try and rush it, because then you don't enjoy it. It just becomes a job. Whereas, you know, I'm having a great time working with Ben. It's a good laugh. Where do we get to? Daniel, I really hate when women get ripped off like that. Yes, me too. That's because they don't know any better, or they'll never know. Yes, there's a lot of assumptions are made, but women are wising up very quickly to being savvy when it comes to getting their cars fixed. You've only got to upset the wrong one, and man, it can be hell, can't it? Okay, crew, that's it. We've done the live stream. Apologies for the technical problems earlier on where we had to reconnect for a while, but finally, you know, the internet's got it all sorted out. Really appreciate you joining me, and I will see you again next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. And thank you all for your support. It is very much appreciated. Cheers. Over and out.